Hello and welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, which means we are back once again for another brand new episode of Doctor Who entitled Lucky Day. So, I just finished watching the episode and here are my thoughts. It was a good episode. It doesn't, but compared to like last week's episode and looks, it's not, comparing it to those episodes 2 and 3, I honestly would put like Lucky Day on par with the Robot Revolution. It's good. It's not great. It's not shit, but it's still good. I still had some enjoyment out of it, even though this was yet again, like last season, another Doctor Light episode, and we had the return of Ruby Sunday. Now, initially I liked Ruby. But I think as time's gone on, like I'm still like I don't. It's not that I don't like the former companion. Millie Gibson done an amazing performance as Ruby. But I just still didn't enjoy her as a companion. As much as I am with Belinda. I think Belinda would, in my opinion, is a slightly better companion than Ruby. But this fills in a few little gaps here from it. So the episode opens up 15 years ago. Has it been 15 years? No, it's been a lot longer. It's 18 years ago. My mistake. Yeah, it's been 18 years ago, 2007. That's wild to imagine that kids born in 2007 are now old enough in Ireland to smoke and drink, but also old enough to vote in a lot of places. That's wild. Like I'm only 27, so yeah, we'll try not to do the math on that one. But they're there at New Year's Eve, and basically they're again using the Vindicator to pinpoint an anchor for them to return to 2025, and they meet this boy afterwards, because they're talking, and then because they're trying to figure out where it was, where they are. There's definitely Earth, London, but they did not know where they were, and they found a 50p coin, and the Doctor immediately gives it to this boy who we know to be later to be called Conrad, and it was a quick stop for them, and they leave, and that it's interesting because like in the trailer, like we knew of 2007 was going to be there because of course it was in one of the trailers, but we knew it slightly earlier than when that trailer came out because of a German trailer was showed a lot more than what we initially got, so we knew that something was going to happen in 2007, which is interesting, because if it had been like a full proper story set in 2007, because at that point the Doctor hadn't met Martha yet, but the Master, John Sims Master, was still knocking about in 2007. So yeah, that's it's something that would have been interesting if the actual episode had been sent. But now we jump forward to 2025, where Conrad has this podcast where he's trying to talk more about the blue box and the Doctor. He mentions how he found it in 2024, and that's where, sorry, I'm chewing some gum, or trying not to, but he finds the Doctor and Ruby, and it's a true dialogue that we hear that's been, for them, it's been a half hour since the Devil's Cord. So that's interesting. Like we knew the Doctor and his companions have multiple different, adventures at once. What we see is probably just maybe like 20-30 minutes for them, or like a half hour to an hour for them. But and then they move on to another adventure. So it's always constantly moving forward. That's the thing with the time machine, But yeah, it's interesting. Then of course we go see him trying to cozy up to Ruby, because of he accidentally got he's talking with her that the things that the Doctor and Ruby dealt with, that live in their own pocket dimension. I'm blanking on their names. I'm getting, because in my head I'm like it's this, but no, that's something that you just read in the book, so you're confusing the name. Anyway, doesn't matter. Because you know, we see bits of these creatures and we don't see it in full, but I remember seeing you know, what the costume looks like through when they were filming, you know, because that's something that I did not mention in my looks review. That, you know, some of these episodes that we are seeing, you know, I'm familiar with because of course, you know, filming out in public, we're going to see a lot of these things, and so I remember there's a lot of speculations about what these creatures were, and what I think one of the running theories, the one that I had for sure, was that it was potentially a new form of the Krillitang, because you know I really want to see the Krillitang come back. They're a one and done villain, but they could be so much more if we got more of it. But anyway, I'm jumping ahead of myself. So Conrad is marked for the hunt for this because they leave the pocket dimension to hunt. They essentially vomit on you, so you absorb their pheromones for you to be hunted. Obviously, the Doctor gave the cure to Ruby. Ruby tries to give it to Conrad, and so then, you know, jump forward a bunch. Because we also do get to see you know, Ruby's adoptive mother and grandmother, as well as her actual mother. We don't see her father though, but we do know that she is in contact with him, you know, since Empire death, and you know it's nice to see them again, because I know they've, well, apart from Ruby's birth mother, have become fan favorites. Um, and so then they go off to this village, and my initial thought is, oh, this is, you know, maybe they could be. My first thought was like, oh, I wonder if they're going to the same village for 73 yards, because I think Ruby was dressed when she was going there in the exact same clothes that she wore when going there, and but obviously not. So they go to the village. They're you know, the same hunting things are happening because the you know, Unit has captured it. So we do see Unit again. We obviously knew Unit was going to be in this one, and I think what would be funny now, because it hasn't happened as of filming this, if they dropped a trailer for the war between the land and the sea, because we know Unit is going to be is the main central part of that. So if you, BBC, if you're watching this, it'd be fucking hilarious if you done that. You know, kind of use this as a massive, this episode as a massive tease for that, but you didn't, or at least so far you haven't. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Turns out that, you know, Conrad is it's part of this thing called Think Tank, where they're trying to expose that you know, aliens aren't real, and they're trying to crash the funding for Unit. You know, they have costumes and they're trying to scare people, and then as soon as Unit comes in, it's all revealed, it's all been live streamed, and you know, faking all their stuff. They get arrested, but obviously released, and then they go on like massive live streams, you know, trying to put pressure on Unit, on not just Unit but like Parliament and stuff, to stop the funding for Unit, and to allow the general public to have access to a lot of the Unit technologies that they have. You know, shit like that. Even they doxed everyone that works for Unit at one point. And then some more shit happens. Conrad breaks into Unit. He's live streaming. He shoots someone, but he lies saying that he doesn't. Funny enough, how he didn't lose support when he shot someone, because he was live streaming that entire time. So obviously he live streamed him shooting someone. And so he gets up top, and he's again trying to get them to, you know, Unit to admit that they lied and all that shit. And then he done fucked up. He done pressed the Brigadier button. And he shouldn't have did that, because the moment he said anything bad about the Brigadier in front of Kate, she lost it. And she's like, oh, it's a good thing. Yeah, no, because he's like, oh, where's your precious doctor now? And she was like, oh, funny you mention him. It's a good thing he's not here, because if he did, he would have stopped me from doing this. And so she lets the creature out, the creature that is hunting him, because he never took the antidote that would have prevented all that from happening. And so it starts to hunt him, and then eventually he says, he gives in, he says he's lied. Ruby saves him, but then again, he for that split second before he was about to die, he was like, oh, please help me. But then the moment that he's saved, he's like, oh, so at least your special effects are good. And then that's when the creature latches on and bites his arm. And then that is that. So this episode is really good in terms of like Ruby, in a sense, because she mentions that she is dealing with a bit of PTSD. She's constantly in fight or flight mode ever since leaving the doctor. She's waiting for the next threat. Something that I've seen something similar to this being mentioned in Steven Universe, specifically Steven Universe Future. So any small amount of thing just sets her off thinking that, okay, this is it. And so then she mentions that she's going to start anew to Kate, and Conrad ends up in prison. And then an interesting thing happens. So we hear the TARDIS land, but then there's a big white light, and then Conrad is in the TARDIS with the Doctor. And Belinda is not there. Because Belinda obviously was there, and they said their names to Conrad when he was 8 years old. And so the Doctor is going massive, like full on, basically, proper angry at him for hurting Ruby. And I love that. I love seeing that, the rage come out from Ncuti Gatwa, because he does it so well, and I wish we could see it in more episodes. Because he does it really, really well. We do need to see a lot more of that. And then it turns out it's Conrad who told him about Belinda Chandra. And so he is the asshole who set that in motion. And then when the Doctor basically kicks him out, he just does that and he's back in his cell. And then someone comes up and he's like, he turns to her and says, did that just happen? And turns out it's Mrs. Flood. And Mrs. Flood lets Conrad go. So that's the end of the episode. So yeah, like there are a lot of positives for this episode. I personally would say this is about another 7 out of 10 episode. Still a good, good strong start for the season now that we're halfway through it. Which I still hate the fact that we're only getting 8 episodes a season now. Because I definitely think not only the show needs more episodes, but Ncuti needs more episodes because he hasn't had a lot. If the rumors are true that he will be leaving at the end of the series. But that is going to wrap this up. So if you love Doctor Who and you want to stick around, do click subscribe, because I will be reviewing it every Saturday, especially for the finale, because thankfully I actually can go to watch the finale in cinema, yes, because where I live in Ireland, the only way to properly watch the Doctor Who legally is through watching it on BBC One later on tonight. But I have a VPN that I use to watch it on BBC iPlayer, because that is the only other way, because otherwise checking Twitter or TikTok, I would be spoiled trying to wait. But the good thing about the series finale is it's not going to go online straight away. We have to wait until the air date. So at 8 o'clock on the 31st of this month, I'll be sat in the cinema. It's going to be what I tend to do on my channel is called a Cinevlog, where I vlog myself going to the cinema and then I come back and review the movie, which I'm actually in the middle of filming one today for Thunderbolts, so that'll be out on Monday. But I'll definitely be going to the cinema to actually experience Doctor Who on the big screen for the very first time, which I'm super excited about. So, if you're looking forward to that and you would want to see what my thoughts are on the series finale, again, if the subscribe button just glowed, I'm not sure if they still do that, and you love Doctor Who, because obviously you can tell that I do with the amount of Doctor Who action figures that are behind me, and then actually over on this way you can see my DVD and Blu-ray collection there, as well as some Star Trek things, but, we're talking about Doctor Who, not Star Trek. Then again, click subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments down below. I'll catch you all next Saturday for the next episode of Doctor Who. I'll see you all next time.